Hi. Today I'm going to offer you 3 quick complementary practices for dealing with challenging emotions and challenging thoughts. I was just working with a client who is a new mother and trying to deal with her baby crying all the time. And she knows that a lot of this is just a question of waiting, building resilience over time. But she's also an INTJ, very focused on personal growth and wanting to accelerate the process. How do I grow more quickly here? How do I build my resilience more quickly? Right? So these are the practices that I gave her, and they work for that kind of thing or any kind of persistent, challenging situation. So I'm going to offer you 3 practices, one from the somatic physiological realm, one from the psychology realm, and one from Buddhism. And these can be any order, really. But let's start with number 1, the somatic physiological one. So when you're feeling activation in the body, you're feeling like, oh, I'm really frustrated, or, there's some kind of constriction, or, like you feel like energy rising, or something's not good. That's a body response, right? And so the best way to deal with that, the starting point, is to try to calm the nervous system, right? And sometimes if it's a really big emotion, you need to just get out of there, go for a walk, go for a run, whatever. But for most situations, step 1 can be just taking the moment to feel your feet on the solid ground and taking some deep breaths to just calm the system. And my favorite kind of breath is the 4-7-8. So you breathe in for a count of 4, you hold for a count of 7, and then you slowly breathe out for a count of 8. And you do that whole sequence maybe 2 or 3 times or more. So that's your first line of defense for the physiological response, is how do I calm the body with breath. And it's not just about breathing. When you do this kind of technique, it slows your heart rate, and it really shifts the part of your brain that's in control. So it gets you out of the amygdala and into the prefrontal cortex, where you can make more logical decisions. So number 2, the psychological approach. So in the world of psychology, there's something called affective labeling. And that's a fancy way of just saying, take a moment to notice exactly what you're experiencing and name it to yourself. So maybe you close your eyes for a moment, maybe not, and you just notice, I am feeling really frustrated right now. This is frustration. Then you can check, where am I feeling the frustration in my body? How do I actually know that I'm frustrated? It's not just a thought. There's some kind of sensation. Like, I feel my belly is clenching. Oh, I feel like my shoulders are a little higher than usual. So the mere act of noticing what's happening for yourself and naming it, that alone is beneficial, because it disentangles you. Instead of just being inside the storm of the emotions, being controlled by them, it allows you to take a step out and observe, oh, there's the storm, I'm here, instead of I'm in the storm. Right? So that alone is beneficial, just naming, I'm frustrated, oh, my shoulders are up. And then even better is you can notice, my shoulders don't need to be up, I can let them down. Oh, my belly's clenching, I can soften it. Sometimes to soften it helps to clench even more. So if you notice your shoulders are really stiff and tight, you can actually squeeze them even more and then let go. All right? That's number 2. Number 3, Buddhism. This is where you bring in techniques to help train yourself to do better next time, to be able to approach this with more skillfulness in the future. So this one, you're probably not going to notice a huge difference right away, but with repeated practice, you'll be able to approach these kinds of situations more easily. So Buddhism offers a wide range of tools for this kind of thing, but the one I'll offer you is concentration meditation, or concentration practice, or focus practice. So there are many kinds of meditation, and this one doesn't have to be like sitting still with the proper meditation posture and all that. All you have to do for concentration practice is pick one specific thing to focus your awareness on. And it could even be the part of your body that you've noticed, like, oh wow, there's tension in my shoulders. Well, then you can just spend 30 seconds or a minute really examining with curiosity, what is it like to have a tense shoulder? What does that really feel like? So really zooming in to that area, like focusing a flashlight beam and really feeling, what is tenseness like? What does that really feel like? That kind of, is it like a stretched fiber? What's really going on there? So that's one option. But the one that I find easiest is to use a visual stimulus. So it could be literally anything, as long as it's ideally not moving. It's still easy to pay attention to. So if you're sitting there, and there's a wood floor, you can just pick a certain grain of the wood. Or if there's a rug, you can pick a certain tuft of the rug, or something on the wall, you can pick a little point and just stare at it. And the whole practice here is noticing distractions are going to come up. You're going to hear sounds. There's a crying baby. You're going to have thoughts come up, pulling you away. And you just notice that, okay, there's a distraction. And come back to, there's the point on the wall that I'm looking at. There's the tuft of the rug that I'm looking at. And you just watch it. You just focus your awareness on that. And not like, I'm trying so hard, I'm focusing really tightly. But relaxed, gentle, staying focused. And the way to think about this is, in each moment, there's a whole field of awareness, right, in your perception. There's all the light around you, all the visual stimulus, all the sounds, maybe taste, smell, there's thoughts, right? All these things are in your field of awareness, right? So it's like a very wide aperture of awareness. So it's all the stuff that your awareness is trying to keep track of. And what we're doing here is focusing that aperture to say, instead of a very diffuse light, we're focusing it down to a laser and observing only one part of that whole field of awareness. All right? So that practice alone is teaching your brain to focus down on one thing and to redirect your attention. So when you're distracted, you're training your brain to notice, oh, I'm no longer focused on that point. Interesting. There's a thought. And then come back and refocus on that point. So every time you get distracted, you're not failing. You're literally doing the practice. You're training yourself. So you notice, oh, I've gone away, and then come back. And the more times you do that, the more you're building that neural network to retrain your brain. All right? And it might be hard to do that for a prolonged period of time, especially if you're not a meditator. So maybe you start with 30 seconds. Maybe you move up to 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Great. 10 minutes, even better. Whatever you can. Every little bit helps. So again, the 3 techniques are from the physiological side. There's feeling your feet on the solid ground, breathing in for 4, hold for 7, out for 8, noticing if you're holding tension anywhere, letting that down if you want. Number 2, affective labeling is just naming to yourself what is happening. Oh, this is anger. Yep, there's a lot of anger here right now. How do I know that? Oh, I notice my jaw is clenching. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, there are my fists, too. They're clenching as well. That's anger. Okay. And then number 3 is the Buddhist perspective. And you can train yourself in concentration or focus simply by picking one thing. It could be a sound. It could be the breath. It could be a sensation. But I like, lately at least, to be using a visual point. So pick one thing, focus on that. When you get distracted, come back to that again and again. All right. I hope that helps. Love to hear how this goes for you in the comments. And I hope you have a nourishing day.